And we are live. Okay.
Why did John Lennon have to be the one to get shot? Something's wrong.
Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about, what is this show about? What happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for important and interesting happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you do not know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application. Oh, well, actually, no. I'm going to have to update that. It just solely comes from the website, onthisday.com, that you see right here. For links to this source and anything else potentially interesting, as well as anything that we gather throughout the show, although that stuff is going to be posted after the live stream. But yeah, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and of course, you viewer are you. What is today? Today is Freya's Day. It's Friday already? Dang. Today is Freya's Day, aka Friday, December 8th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Pardon me. Starting us off in 1326. That's a little late for normal. We have in the Daitokuji Temple, Rinzai line established in Kyoto by Daido Kokushi. Okay. Rinzai line. I don't know what that means, but well, let's check this out here really quick. Here, get rid of that. No, let me see. Temple. There we go. Okay, it's in Kyoto. It is a Buddhist temple, one of 14 autonomous branches of the Rinzai school of Japanese Zen. It is located in Kitaku, Kyoto, Japan. The mountain name by which it is known is Ryu Hozokan. The Daitokuji Temple Complex today covers more than 23 hectares. So for further reading on this particular thing, I'm going to have two links here for the underbar. So what is this? The Daitokuji Temple. Alright, so I have this link and of course the Wikipedia, so which I understand Wikipedia is but whatever. Anyway, moving on up to 1609. Biblioteca Ambrosiana in Milan opened its reading room, which was the second public library in Europe. All right. So what was the first public library in Europe, though? So let's see here. First, why can't I click things? First public library in Europe. The Malatissinia Library in Cesena, Italy. Is not only the first European library or civic library, but is also known to be Europe's first public library. It opened in 1452, housed in a former Franciscan monastery, and is home to over 40,000 books. All right. So, if anybody wants to know, oldest libraries. Okay. So there's a list here of oldest libraries. If anybody wants to go library hopping, you know, something like that. And sorry for the bright light. I forgot about closing my window. So, yeah. Anyway, 1659. You know what? That's going to bother me. So let me just move that there. So give me one moment. Let me close my blind. There we go. Now it's dark. Turn on my lights. Sorry about that. Anyway, 1659, Mexican border town, Ciudad Juarez was founded by Fray Garcia de San Francisco. I wonder if he has any relation to why San Francisco got its name. But all right, so yeah, Ciudad Juarez. I don't know why nope. Copy. There we go. Let's see here if it's still around. Yeah, it is. Okay. So Ciudad Juarez. If anybody watching this lives there, you know, this is the birth date of your town. So cool. 1776. George Washington's retreating army crossed the Delaware River from New Jersey. Yep. This is that famous painting that we're using as today's show's thumbnail. 1792. First cremation in the U.S. That of Henry Lawrence. All right. So the very first cremation. Okay. 1813, Ludwig van Beethoven's 7th Symphony in A premiered in Vienna with Beethoven conducting. And for half a second, I was like, when was the first cremation? But then I remembered, oh, wait, the Vikings, you know, the cremation has been part of burial since before the written word. You know, it's been one of, like, the oldest things. We had, you know, some cultures bury, some cultures cremate. There's other cultures even that just leave their dead out in the sun, you know, for nature to take its course. And, you know, that's how they do it. Really interesting stuff. 1854, Pope Pius IX proclaimed Immaculate Conception made Mary free of original sin. Okay. Well, there's a whole theory behind Christianity and stuff. I'm not going to say it on camera, because it's kind of like tongue in cheek, but yeah. So they made her free of sin. All right. 1863. Actually, was it the Virgin Mary or Mary Magdalene, or are those two same people? I'm not sure. 1863, 2,500 people were reported killed as a result of a fire at a Jesuit church of La Campana, Santiago, Chile. Yikes! Pardon me. That is a lot of people dying in a church. Wow. Jeez, man. 1863, Abraham Lincoln issued his amnesty proclamation and plan for reconstruction of the South. Yep. This was before the end of the Civil War, but we're already discussing about post-war actions and whatnot, and of course the South was going to be absolutely massacred. Let's not forget Sherman's March to the Sea and like all the various towns, and, plundered, looted, set afire, all that stuff. I can't remember. I think there was another Union general that did a lot of that too. 1864, James Clerk Maxwell's paper, A Dynamical Theory of the Electromagnetic Field, was first read by the Royal Society in London, published later by the Royal Society in 1865. A Dynamical Theory of the Electromagnetic Field. That is interesting. Let's look that up here really quick. So let's see here. But by the way, I'm not sure, but yeah, there's now an option when you right-click it, you just straight up just search Google, and it pops it up right here, the same exact thing here. Although it took less time, that's kind of weird, okay. But yeah, anyway, it is a paper, blah, 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 blah. So, I might have actually two, yeah, I will have two links here. Abstract, the most obvious mechanical phenomenon in electrical and magnetical experiments is the mutual action by which bodies in certain states set each other in motion while still at a sensible distance from each other. So kind of playing into Newton's third law, I believe. But everything is physics and all that stuff. So yeah, so electromagnetic theory. Electromagnetic theory. So let's add this link in here really quick, and let's add this link here if anybody wants to look more into it. Here's a jumping off point for your for your rabbit hole. In 1864, the Clifton Suspension Bridge, designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, was finally opened in Bristol, England, 5 years after his death. That's unfortunate. There's been a lot of people who have not survived to see their work or survived to see their work appreciated, especially artists and whatnot. But the designer of the Mount Rushmore didn't survive to see it. It's not even really completed technically if you think about it. But let's check it. Ooh, that's nice. That's a beautiful bridge. Huh. I mean, of course, it's a bridge with bridge-like qualities and aspects and features and architecture, but that archway is pretty cool. I'm gonna go check that out. The Clifton Suspension Bridge. Oh wow, that is a beautiful wow. Okay, I might have a new desktop background. I'm gonna have to open that image in a new tab. That is breathtaking. I gotta move on up here. 1869, Timothy Eaton found T. Eaton Company Limited in Toronto, Canada. Alright. 1874, James Younger Gang, led by Jesse James, robbed a train at Muncie, Kansas, stealing $30,000. Which was $30,000 in 1874. Let's check that out here really quick. $30,000, 1874. Would be about $779,660.53 today. It's still a pretty good haul, almost $1 million. Dang. 1876, Suriname began compulsory education for 7 to 12-year-olds. All right, so not mandatory, but now they have access to education and all that stuff. Good, heading in the right direction. 1880, 5,000 armed Boers gathered in Paardekraal, South Africa. So, of course, the Boer Wars and all that stuff just looming in the near future from there. You know what? When were the Boer Wars? When were the Boer Wars? Started in 1899, so this was 1880, so another 19 years. That's the second Boer War, though. Well, between 1899 and 1902. So, but this is the second Boer War. When was the first Boer War? When was the first Boer War? 1880. December. Ooh, we're coming up. Actually, I think this is leading up to the first one because this is 8 days from now. Ooh, oh, that was an unexpected finding right there. 1881, Vienna's Ring Theater destroyed by gaslight fire, killing an estimated 384 to 1,000 people. Yikes. That's a pretty big discrepancy right there, but still killed quite a bit of people. Once again, you know, you go to theaters, you know, to have a good time, and you end up dying in a fire. That's no bueno. And nobody likes getting gaslit, of course. 1886, American Federation of Labor, the AFL, was formed by 26 craft union Samuel Gompers elected AFL presidents. Okay, so the AFL. Happy birthday, AFL. That was 1886. I'm trying to, here we go. Yeah, this one. And he's the guy. All right. 1895, battle at Amba Algai. Ethiopian Emperor Menelik II drove Italian General Bratalia out. And that's only in there because of the namesake, Menelik. It's a really, it's a biblical name, I believe. 1909, Bird Banding Society found. What? Bird Banding Society? What the? Hold on a second. Let's look that up. Bird Banding Society. Okay. Banding birds. Bird banding data are useful in both scientific research and management and conservation projects. Individual identification of birds makes possible studies of dispersal and migration behavior and social structure, lifespan and survival rate, reproductive success, and population growth. Okay, so basically, how the bird. Well, I guess doing that to the whales would be the whale equivalent of doing it to the birds. I'm not sure when it first started. Probably the bird one, but yeah, tracking essentially. So this is when the official society was founded. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. 1912, Wilhelm II of Germany called War Council. That's a little concerning. Just 2 years after this, you know, we remember Franz Ferdinand, and then the outbreak of the First World War because of all the political agreements and alliances and promises of this and that. And, you know, as soon as one nation got dragged in, this nation got dragged in, and then that pulled in that other nation, and then, you know, all the politics and all the crap and... You know, this just makes everything very complicated. 1913, construction started on the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco. All right, so let's take a look at that. Does it even still exist anymore? Or maybe it got destroyed. Okay, it still exists. Is it a ruin? Or is it supposed to be overgrown like that? Or am I just overlooking things? The Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco. Let's check out... maps. Palace of Fine Arts. Okay, so there it is. So let's get a first off, let me focus that. There we go. Okay, so it's still a functioning structure. That's pretty cool looking. I wish I knew this existed when I was there back in 2017. This is cool. It kind of looks like partially a ruin, partially not, because of the way all the columns and everything. It looks like they're supposed to hold up a roof that is not there anymore. Or never was. Wow. You know what? Say what you want about San Francisco, which I'll agree with you, you know, 10 times out of 9. But this is still... I'd love to go visit this. Too bad it's in San Fran, though. Anyway, let's continue on. 1914, Boers rebelling against the British in South Africa suffered several defeats, with one of their leaders, General Beyers, accidentally drowning. Yikes. It's not the first time... a leader drowned. Remember that? I think it was a king or something. Like they were out on campaign, and they had to cross a river, and he was in full armor, and he fell off his horse, and he couldn't get up, and he drowned in like 3 inches of water or something. Really embarrassing. But yeah, yikes. 1915, John McCrae's poem "In Flanders Fields" appeared anonymously in Punch magazine. Okay, well, are we talking about fist punch or like drink punch or like punch card? Like, I don't know. 1921, MND Valera publicly repudiates Anglo-Irish Treaty, which means like rejects, repudiates. I remember it's been a year since I looked this up. Actually, I think because oh, damn it, copy. There we go. All right, repudiates. I refuse to accept or be associated with, deny the truth or validity of, and in law refuse to fulfill or discharge an agreement, obligation, or debt. So, yep, just a fancy word for that. 1923, German-U.S. Friendship Treaty was signed after the First World War. All right. And of course, this was during the Boer War, this 1914 Boers thing and all that stuff. I actually, no, it was after. I don't know. But yeah, no, this is after the First World War. German-U.S. Friendship Treaty was, and then 1923 at the same time. Salary and price freeze in Germany. Okay. That's not good. Germany really did get screwed. 1925, George S. Kaufman and Irving Berlin's musical The Coconuts, starring the Marx Brothers, opened at the Lyric Theater in New York City, running for 276 performances. All right. That's cool. The Coconuts. Are they like astronaut coconuts? Hold on a second. Let's see if that even exists. Astronaut coconuts. Maybe I'm going to have AI. Oh, here we go. Okay. These are some coconuts right here. All right. 1931, the coaxial cable was patented. Why can't I wrap my mind around that? What is coaxial cable? What does it look like? Oh, okay, that. Okay. So, like, television and all that stuff. Oh, wow, all the way back in 1931. We have these. It's funny. We have, like, ports, for these all over the house because this house was built back in 99. We have electrical outlets and Ethernet ports and coaxial port stuff in every room of the house. And now with everything being wireless, 1933, French nun Bernadette Soubirous, who saw the vision of the Virgin Mary at Lourdes, was canonized by the Catholic Church. All right. 1935, the Japanese military police launched a violent suppression on the religious sect Umato, beginning with a crackdown on the sect's original or operational bases of Ayabe and Kamoika in Kyoto Prefecture and the arrest of its leader, Onisaburo Degushi. That is persecution right there, I think. Unless they were doing something not good. So, 1936, NAACP filed suit to equalize salaries of black and white teachers. Okay. Back in those times, I'm pretty sure there was a discrepancy. So, go for it. But, with, NAACP stands for, let's look it up before I just start talking out of my ass. Stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which, if you called them that today, they get all pissed off. So why isn't it not called the National Association for the Advancement of African Americans? But then again, like, Elon Musk is an African American, and he's whiter than me, and I don't even go outside. So, I mean, hell, Elon Musk goes outside more than I do because he has to go witness his rocket launches. So, yeah. So, what? The National Association for the Advancement of Blacks? Like, I don't know. Should this society even still exist? Like, they have civil rights. They have, freedoms. Unlike back at this time, 1936, 80 some odd years ago. Anyway, 1938, highest temperature for December in U.S. recorded in La Mesa, California. All right. 1940, the National Football League Championship in Griffith Stadium, Washington, D.C. Chicago Bears, the Bears, beat Washington Redskins, or the Washington Washingtons, 7-3-0. Most one-sided victory in NFL history. The first NFL title game broadcast on national radio. Woo! Not only the first one on national radio, but 73-0. The most one-sided victory in NFL history. Holy crap! Washington Redskins, you guys got your teeth kicked in so hard you're shitting out dentures. I swear to God. 1941, Chalamino extermination camp opened 50 kilometers from Lodz, Poland. Not good. Holocaust. Yeah. Awful stuff in history. While that was happening, in London, the Dutch government in exile declared war on Japan. How can you declare war if you don't even have a country? You're in exile, bro. Like, I mean, that's cool and all. I'm not dissing the action, but like, I mean, this doesn't hold that much water. I'm sorry. Once again, I applaud your efforts, but it's just kind of silly. 1941 as well. San Francisco's first blackout at 6:15 p.m. I mean, I guess it'd be 7, in Mountain, but We're not in Mountain Time in San Fran. We're in Pacific. I'm stupid. Yeah, the first blackout during the war. Well, the day after Pearl Harbor. Yeah, that's right. And then 1941 as well. U.S. and Britain declared war on Japan. Then the U.S. enters World War II. Yep, after the whole date. You know, this is the same date that he did his infamy speech. If you saw yesterday's TDH, they played that clip. That actually took place on this date. But, you know, yeah. And once again, I'll repeat the fact that Canada declared war on Japan because of Pearl Harbor before we did. I believe they declared war. Actually, hold on a second. When did Canada declare war on Japan? 7th of December. Yeah, right there. And here we are on the 8th where we did. So they beat us by a day. So back in the day, Canada was, you know, really, you know, had all their ducks in a row. Well, not all of them, but, you know, they beat us to the war punch. That's kind of funny. 1941 as well, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered his famous Day of Infamy speech to a joint session of Congress a day after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Yep, that's what I just said. So, yep. 1946, U.S. Army rocket plane XS-1 made its first powered flight. Alright, U.S. Army rocket plane XS-1. So let's take a look at what that looked like. Oh yeah, that one! Okay, woo, I never saw the back of that. That looks menacing. Rocket Man! What else do we have? 1948, Jordan annexed Arabic Palestine. Yep. You know, Palestine was there first. 1949, On the Town, the film adaptation of the Broadway musical starring Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Ann Miller, and Vera Ellen premiered. Alright. I want that hat. That's a cool hat. We also have 1949, Chinese nationalist government moved from Chinese mainland to Formosa. Where is Formosa? I've heard of Formosa. You know what? Let's look this up. Formosa. Oh yeah, Taiwan, yeah. But before it was called Taiwan. Alright, yeah. Yep, this is when they started their whole exile. They've been there ever since. Real China. The true China. 1951, American League altered its restrictions on night games, adopting National League's suspended game rule and lifting its ban on lights for Sunday games. They obviously after World War II, quite a bit after World War II actually, so that's kind of surprising they waited that long. 365 days later, 1952, we have the first TV acknowledgement of pregnancy in I Love Lucy. Ah, da 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 da. Great show. So that was the first pregnancy on television. Interesting. While that was going on, French troops shot at anti-colonial demonstrators in Casablanca, Morocco, killing 50. Yikes. Kind of reminds me of the opening scene to The Watchmen when the hippie put the flower in the gun barrel and then the soldier shot anyway. Oh, the times are changing. 1953, Dwight D. Eisenhower gave his Atoms for Peace speech at the United Nations in New York. It's kind of counterintuitive right there. That's like fucking for virginity. You know, fighting for peace. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. 1956, first test firing of Vanguard satellite program TV-0. Test firing? What does that mean? Vanguard... Why are we shooting satellites in this Vanguard TV-0? What is this? Test vehicle. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this is... They're testing the system that they're going to use to put the satellites up into orbit. That's interesting. Okay. Vanguard testing. Let's just add that link in there as well. All right. What else do we got? 1956, the 16th Summer Olympic Games closed in Melbourne, Australia. Mike, start of an Olympic tradition. Amidst international tensions, athletes mingled together, parade into and around MCG Arena for a final appearance to close the games, mate. Ah, look at all that. Whoopla. And did you know the whole the torch thing was started by the Nazis as a some kind of like show of power and superiority or whatever. Like, look it up. The Olympic torch was started by the Nazis. So, I mean, like, they might have had it like in the old Greek days, but the tradition as it is today was started by them. 1957, CBS broadcasts The Sound of Jazz live from New York City, an all-star program featuring swing era and contemporary jazz artists, including Count Basie, Red Allen, Ben Webster, Thelonious Monk and Jerry Mulligan. Highlight is the last collaboration of Billie Holiday and Lester Young on Fine and Mellow. Cool, cool. 1959, baseball's new Continental League awarded its sixth franchise to Atlanta, Georgia. Alright. While that was going on, Don Mintoff demanded independence for Malta. I agree. I think everything should be independent. You know, if it can handle it, then why not? 1959, President Eisenhower watched Pakistan versus Australia Test cricket at Karachi. That's important to document, apparently. So, I mean, it's still interesting. I mean, you know, like it was the Joe Rogan bit about people drawing on the walls. Oh, this is a woman carrying fruit upon her head. That's important to document. Anyway, 1960, Major League Baseball expansion team Los Angeles Angels signed a 4-year lease to use Dodger Stadium. All right, when was Angel Stadium built? When was Angels Stadium built? All right. Oh, 1966. Okay, so 4-year lease, and then another like 2 years until that got built. So I don't know where they were between that. That's pretty cool. I've been there a couple of times. I've driven past that countless times. 1960, the musical Peter Pan, starring Mary Martin, broadcast for a third time on NBC as a special event, videotaped in color for future rebroadcasts. Alright. 1961, Larry Costello scored 32 consecutive points without a miss, NBA record. And if anybody knows if that record has been broken, please let us know in the comments section. And speaking of comments, do we have any comments going on over here? I have nothing over there. And where's my... and I have... no, I don't want top chat. I want live chat. Okay. We also have 1961 Philadelphia Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scored 78 points in 151-147 3-overtime defeat to the LA Lakers at Philadelphia Civic Center. Second highest game total in NBA history. What's the highest game total? Highest game total in NBA history. 186-184. Woo! That is very high. Detroit Pistons versus the Denver Nuggets. Damn, triple overtime as well. Huh. That was another 30 entire points. Wow. 1962, 114-day newspaper strike began in New York City. Okay. And while that was going on, we have the funeral for Queen Wilhelmina of Holland, new clerk Delft. Yep. 1963, Frank Sinatra Jr. was kidnapped at Harris Lake in Tahoe, Nevada. Or Harris Lake, Tahoe, Nevada. Yep. Why you would want to kidnap the child of someone very heavily involved in the mafia is lunacy, but you know what? Good luck with that, bub. 1965, Pope Paul VI closed final session of the Second Vatican Council, an influential ecumenical council that significantly modernized church practices. All right, yeah, Pope Paul VI here has did a lot. He pops up quite a bit. Actually, how many articles does he have? Oh, quite a few. Woo! So that's substantial right there. 1966, a terrible New York Yankee trade. Roger Maris for St. Louis's Cardinals Charlie Smith. I don't know the extent of that badness, but okay. We also have the United States and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics signed a treaty to prohibit nuclear weapons in outer space. And that still stands today to some degree. Even though nuclear weapons are now antiquated, we can just straight up just drop tungsten rods, Project Mjolnir, Project Thor, Odin, whichever one is the actual true one. Because I know that like Call of Duty had one, and they used one of those. I think their one was Mjolnir. I'm not sure, but Thor and yeah, I don't know. 1967, NHL California Seals changed their name to the Oakland Seals. Okay, so that's when they changed their name right there. And whenever you go to a Seals game, you expect all the fans to be in the stands going, arr, 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 arr. Kind of like how people make fun of other things for Seals. 1967, the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour EP was released in the UK, issued in the US as an album, including additional singles from 1967. Yep, that happened. 2 years later, police surprise attack on a Black Panthers area in LA, and let's not forget Black Panthers were a notoriously, evil prejudice, society that just utilize hate to validate their hate. Very much like how certain groups and movements today are working, like a lot of hate for something like this going around in the world today. 1970, head of the Catholic Church in Ireland, Cardinal William Conway, published a pamphlet on the topic of segregation in education in Northern Ireland. Alright, yeah, something was going on there, and that was also during the Troubles, of course. Now, a lot of, it's called the Troubles because it was times of trouble. A lot of car bombs, and all that stuff. I mean, hell, the Irish car bomb, the drink, you got its inspiration from that. Where you get a glass of Guinness, a shot of Irish whiskey, not whiskey, but Irish cream, Bailey's or whatever. Drop it in and drink the whole thing in one hit. It tastes like chocolate milk, and it puts you on your ass. We also have 1974, Greek monarchy rejected by referendum. All right, yeah, I'm all against monarchies and whatnot. 1974 as well, the Irish Republican Socialist Party forms. That is, yikes. We also have 1976, Asylum Records released the Eagles' fifth studio album, Welcome to Hotel California. Yeah, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. I mean, take that song. That's literally warning us about the state of California today. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You check out as in, like, you're mentally not there anymore through all the various substances people take out here, all the homeless problems, all the, all that stuff going on. And they can't leave, They're checked out, but they're not off the premises. California is like the new age prison when you really look at it. But anyway, Asylum Records released the Eagles' fifth studio album, Hotel California. It spawned 2 #1 singles and sold over 30 million copies. Yeah, and that song is one of my anthems. We also have 1978, The Deer Hunter, directed by Michael Cimino and starring Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and Meryl Streep, premiered in Los Angeles, later to receive the Academy Awards Best Picture in 1979. Yep, I gotta watch that, The Deer Hunter. 1978, commencement for the first day-night World Series Cricket Super Test at VFL Park in Melbourne. Alright, so some stuff for cricket fans. 1980, Bravo Network premiered on cable TV. Alright, so, if you watch Bravo, and that's like a movie network, right? If my memory is correct. Not entirely sure. I'm trying to adjust one of my socks here. Bravo? What is Bravo? What is Bravo Network? It's movies, I think, right? Enter. Media company. Cable television network. Okay, so it's just... Okay, so originally focused on fine arts and film. Okay, so it was movies and whatnot, but now it's something else. Anyway, 1980, Annie Leibovitz had a photo shoot with John Lennon, the last person to professionally photograph him before he was murdered on the same day. And there's not even like another article about John Lennon here actually getting murdered, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah, this is the anniversary of John Lennon, got assassinated and got murdered on this date back in 1980. So 43 years ago. That's 43 years. Man. And, keep in mind that the Beatles released their very last song this year. I think it's called I Know It's True. Not sure. Our resident Beatles guy is not here today, despite me asking him to join, because, it's a monumental day in Beatles history. And there's a whole theory that Yoko Ono actually put a hit out on John Lennon in order to collect the insurance and, get all of his stuff and all that whatnot. And she was an awful person, and she sings like a screeching chihuahua. So, I'm not saying that she did, but I believe that she did. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1982, Norman Mailer held Washington Monument hostage, demanding an end to nuclear weapons. He was later killed by police after 10 hours, and he had no explosives. Well, what were you expecting? He was holding the Washington Monument hostage. What a nut job. As the people across the pond would say, oh, the guy is bloody mental. Or the chap is bloody mental. Oh, I'm sorry. 1982, Suriname Army leader Desi Bouterse ordered the murders of 15 opponents to his military regime. Yeah, and we're just not too far around the corner from that happening in this country here. So yikes. 2 years later, 1984. Speaking of horrible things, 1984. Europe and 64 developing countries signed the Loam III Treaty. Okay, I wasn't talking about that being horrible. I was just making a reference to the book 1984 with the police surveillance state. But what is the Loam III Treaty? It increased commitments to the EUA, 8.5 billion. So the Lome Convention. What is this? All right, if anybody wants to learn more about this, I'll add it here. Lome. Hold on a second. Convention. Why can't I? Okay. Hyphen paste. Okay. Fingers. Slow down. All right. We also have 1984 Ringo Starr hosted Saturday Night Live. Herbie Hancock was the musical guest. Yep. Do 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 do. I think that's the right song. Herbie Hancock. 1987, the Flyers' Ron Hextall became the first NHL goalie to actually score a goal, shooting the puck into the Boston Bruins' empty net in a 5-2 win at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. All right, there's only one goalie, right? How many NHL goalies have? We've looked this up before, and 14. So a total of 14 goaltenders have scored a total of 17 goals in the National Hockey League games. Wow, so some of them did it more than once. Okay, well, time to add this in the so goal scoring goalies. All right, so if anybody wants to learn more about who scored what and how much, because obviously, let's see here, final score 4-7, team season, method is own goal. Oh, uh-oh, the Rob Ramage. Okay, method of scoring goal, his own goal. What does an SOG mean? Own goal. So some of these are their own goals. Oh, whoopsie. That's not goal. That's not a goal you want to score. 1987 as well. Occupied Palestinians start Intifada, the uprising against Israel. Yeah, right there, the word occupied, because they were there first. Occupied Palestinians. They're under the boot, everybody of the world. Open your eyes. I'm not saying support either side because both sides suck, but understand that one side is not without sin. So, 1988, the Knicks set NBA record of 11 3-pointers and sink the Buccaneers 113-109. 11 3-pointers. Woo. That's kind of like that corner 3 from Family Guy. Corner 3, from the video game. Actually, let me see if I can bring that up. Family Guy corner 3. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So, I will add this into the underbar of the description if anybody wants to watch this for whatever. Corner 3. All right. What else do we got here? 1990, the Indians agreed to lease a new ballpark in Gateway, Jacobs Field. So the sports team Indians, not any Native Americans or people from India, but a sports team, the Indians. Okay, and it later became Jacobs Field or whatever. Cool. While that was going on, NASA, aka Never a Straight Answer, discovered life on Earth. No shit. In famous control experiment looking for alien life, using spacecraft Galileo's gravity assist flyby Earth at close altitude of 597 miles or 960 kilometers on its way to Jupiter. Well, I mean, it's very obvious that there's life on Earth. Look at the green. That's plant life right there. Plant life begets animal life, Obviously, there's stuff in the oceans. Where there's water, there's life. And even not necessarily. Look at extremophiles. There's life living in the literal liquid hot melted rock magma in the mantle of the Earth. There's life living in the Arctic poles, of North and South Antarctica and whatnot. There's tardigrades. They can survive in the vacuum of space. Life is not as rare as we think it is. It's everywhere. It's just microscopic. What else do we got here? 1991, Russia, Belarusia, and Ukraine formed Commonwealth of Independent States. So that did not last for too long. So, especially Russia and Ukraine. And In 1991 as well, the Romanian constitution was adopted in a referendum. All right. And 365 days later, 1992, NBC announced that Cheers will go off the air in May of 1993. Now, where you go, everybody knows your name. Norm. 1992, spacecraft Galileo made its second and closest flyby of Earth at a minimum distance of 305 kilometers for a gravity assist on its way to Jupiter. I guess it's just like going woo, 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 woo. You know? Like, actually, that would make sense because you wouldn't, like, it requires fuel for a straight shot, so you're going to be using gravity wells and all that stuff to take forever to get to Jupiter, but it'll get there. 1994, Darryl Strawberry was indicted on tax evasion charges. Whoopsie doodles. They went after the strawberry. And moving on up into 2002, the Caribbean Community Heads of Government met with the government of Cuba and declared the date to be Capricorn Cuba Day to celebrate diplomatic ties between the Caribbean community, CARICOM, and Cuba. Not Capricorn. So CARICOM. Cool. And that was 2002. Let's, right here. 2004, Cuzco Declaration was signed in Cuzco, Peru, establishing the Union of South American Nations. All right. You know, that's pretty cool. 2005, Ante Gotovina, Croatian army general accused of war crimes, was captured in the Playa de las Americas, Tenerife, by the Spanish police. All right. 2008, Christy Williams was elected as leader of the Welsh Liberal Democrats, the first female leader of a political party in Wales. Yeah, and I wonder how well that's doing. It's, you know, like, Liberal Democrats, with how the world's going today, you know, like, everything's not going well with that side of the political spectrum on a global scale. 2010, with the second launch of the SpaceX Dragon, SpaceX became the first privately held company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover a spacecraft. That's remarkable. Yeah. 2011, the NBA and Players Union reached financial agreement to end a 161-day lockout, shortening the season by 16 games. Wow, so they took out 16 games. That's quite a bit. Holy, that is a lot of revenue. A lot of advertisement, profit just out the window. But you know what? Screw them. They make most of the money anyway. 2019, 2012 is UN climate change. 2012, United Nations Climate Conference agreed to extend the Kyoto Protocol to 2020. And what is the Kyoto Protocol, you may ask? Well, let's look that up here really quick. Get rid of those. What is the Kyoto Protocol? Okay. There's a link right there. It was an international treaty which extended the 1992 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change that commits state parties to reduce greenhouse gas emissions based on the scientific consensus that global warming is occurring and that human-made CO2 emissions are driving it. Well, I mean, we ain't helping it, but, we ain't causing too much by that much. Kyoto Protocol. Alright, so, and then we have this link, and then we have that link, so, yeah. Alright, what else do we got here? 2019, a fire in an illegal bag factory in Delhi, India, killed 43. Well, who wants... I guess they're making fake Louis Vuittons? I'm not sure. It's India. They have a lot of fake factories out there. China is even worse, though. Whew. And we have 2019, polar explorers Mike Horn and Borgi Ausland completed an 1,800-kilometer or 1,118 miles journey on drifting ice in darkness of the Arctic. Yikes. So they're just on an ice cube, just floating around in the Arctic waters in darkness. That takes major balls right there. 2019 as well, Sanna Marin became Finland's youngest ever prime minister at the age of 34. No, that's pretty young. 2 years younger than me. So, all right. 2019 as well, Vienna State Opera staged its first show by a female composer in 150 years, Olga Neuwirth's opera Orlando. All right. I'd like to see that. That sounds pretty cool. 2020, former Israeli Space Security Chief Haim Eshed said aliens in the Galactic Federation exist, and Donald Trump knows about it in an article published in the Jerusalem Post. Yeah, that happened. And it probably does, but for whatever reason, this reason or that. It's not like I don't know the reasons, but yeah, they're not letting the public at large know about it. 2021. Let me make a preliminary cheer here. And I'm cheering because, and I have no idea who Olaf Scholz is, but they were sworn in as the new Chancellor of Germany, replacing Angela Merkel, finally, after 16 years. Good old Lady Hitler. Just driving Germany into hell. Just making it worse and worse and worse. Bye-bye! Sayonara, good riddance. Awful, awful bag of cabbages. 2022, U.S. baseball star Brittany Griner, basketball, not even a... Wow, well, might as well be baseball with the skills she has, or lack thereof. Brittany Griner was released by Russian authorities in a prisoner exchange for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. He had a nickname like... hold on a second. Russian arms dealer. What was his nickname? The Slaughterer or something? Like, let's see here. He was also known as... what was his name? Oh, here it is. The Merchant of Death. Sanctions Buster. So, yeah. Griner detained on drug smoking charges since February 2022. That was the absolute worst trades of all trades, like, ever. Trading a not even a 2-bit, but like a 3-bit or a 4-bit sack of shit, garbage example of a human being. Like, not even worth the air she breathes, for, a freaking terrorist. Meanwhile, we have actual U.S. soldiers out there detained. That would have been a much better trade, but, yeah. Anyway, 2022, Canadian singer Celine Dion revealed via Instagram that she has been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, SPS, a rare neurological disorder. What? Hold on a second. I thought this was an actual thing. Is this some BS? Stiff person syndrome. People with this condition usually experience muscle stiffness in their trunk and abdomen, the middle part of the body. Over time, they also develop stiffness, rigidity, and spasms in their legs and other muscles. So, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just annoying. You're just slowly becoming somewhat paralyzed in a way. That's interesting. What else do we have here? 2022, Iran announced first known execution of a protester from recent anti-government unrest after convicting a man in a revolutionary court of Morabarada enmity against God. Enmity. Enmity. What does enmity mean? Never heard of that word. Let's look that up here. Enmity. The state of feeling or being actively opposed or hostile to something or someone. Ah, okay. Well, it's Iran, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let me do another cheer for this. Trevor Noah hosts his final episode of late-night talk and satirical news television program The Daily Show. Finally! Since the first episode, he's made everything about, skin color, and he's just an awful person. He's a disgusting, awful person, Trevor Noah. Like, when they put you on that show, that was the biggest mistake probably in television history. You're that bad, Trevor Noah. Like, thank God it's over. Oh, and then anyway, 2022, UN investigation of Democratic Republic of Congo found 131 people were massacred in November by M23 rebel group in Kishishi and Bambo villages in the east of the country. Yikes. So, that shall conclude the history for today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. Go check out our link tree. It takes you not only to our various social media sites that we don't really use right now due to not really much activity, but we're not just on YouTube, we're not just on Rumble, we're on BitChute, and we are on Odyssey, although that's only like shows like the Peanut and whatnot, specialty shows, because of their centralized cryptocurrency system, which dictates how much you can upload. Anyway, for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 p.m. Central, and 2 Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Our other shows, we have The State History, we have the Omni Coalition News Show Talkness, we have KTP, The Peanuts, The Edge of Disclosure, The Omni Kitchen, Inosh, and other stuffs that are coming up and everything. So until you see us in one of those, and whenever that is, wherever that is, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander. You, viewer, of course, are you. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Where's my... There it is. Stop streaming.